Welcome to my jungle update and my first ayahuasca ceremony breakdown that I've had out here in Colombia, and wow, what a night. Those kind of words go hand in hand with any ayahuasca experience, but that night was pretty crazy. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video than my last videos. I'll try and keep it down under 10 minutes though, which would be difficult, but here we go. First of all, I just wanted to read a passage that I've got in my book, The Journey to the Ascent of Your Soul, and it's a quote by Greg Braden that I got off a video that he'd done, and it really sings to what I went through the other night, so here we go. Life has a propensity towards balance. It takes a master to upset that balance and create challenges. Until we have amassed the necessary tools, we will never see ourselves in the experience that requires those tools. Our greatest challenges offer us the chance to display mastery, and in doing so, trust ourselves and our lives. As we climb out of the abyss, we see ourselves in a new way and attain a new level of mastery. As masters, we can create imbalance, and in the imbalance, we are offered an opportunity where we have no point of reference, no one to ask, no one to go to. We've never had the experience before, and in that no point of reference, all we have is ourselves. In that moment, we are asked to reach down into the deepest part of our being. Greg Braden. So that was pretty much what I was called to do. Go deep down into the core of my being to find out who I truly am. The ceremony, very different ceremony than I've done before, but beautifully run, beautifully contained. We started the ceremony at 8 p.m. and we wrapped it up at 1 p.m. the following day, so it's the longest ceremony I've ever done. Not all of that was medicine drinking, a lot of it was singing songs, music, resting, looking into the fire. By the time we finished all the shares and got everyone together, it was 1 o'clock, so it was a long ceremony. So we started the ceremony off with a sharing circle, an intention. We were sharing our intentions for being in the medicine space and what we were looking to achieve and what we were hoping to bring. And we took some mambe, which is what I showed in a video the other day, to make everyone really present, to open up the dialogue, to make everyone be there, focused on what everyone's intentions were, to listen and to share. So we did the mambe. We also had something called ambil, which is a tobacco paste I'll do a video on at some point, and you take a tiny bit and you put it behind your teeth. I managed to get a chunk of it stuck in the back of my throat, so that was a pretty nasty little start, but anyway, the intentional sharing went well. My intention, really, I felt super clear, super present that day on Thursday. I felt really ready to receive, and my intention was to just go and find a deeper understanding of who I am, to go deeper through the layers. And so the ceremony was held in the Malacca. The Malacca I'll do a video on this at some point. It's got a metallic roof, it's got columns, wooden pillars, hammocks around it. There's a fire pit in the middle, so we had a fire lit from the start of the ceremony. Everyone's on mats, spread around in a circle. It's normal kind of state of affairs, but with the fire pit in the middle. And the shaman, if you like to call them that, is from they're called Taitas down in Colombia, Taitas shamans. They're from a kind of a tribe called Taitas, and a guy called Johnny ran the ceremony. Amazing musician, amazing guitarist. It's a much more informal kind of setup, much more real and much more raw ceremony than I've ever done before, which was really beautiful. I'm a really informal kind of person, so it felt really good to be in the dirt and be there with everyone in this really intimate space. So the plan was to drink up to 3 drinks. You're welcome just to have 1, 2 or 3, whatever you felt called to have. And he tailors the dose so each one goes a little bit deeper. I had the first dose, had the first cup, and it arrived nicely, took me into a really nice space. I had some amazingly clear visions that I'm still trying to make sense of. The first one that I had was in my mind's eye with my eyes closed. I saw a really clear, colourful picture of a door, and the door opened as I was almost walking down a tunnel towards it. And for me now, reflecting back on that, that was literally the door opening me to find a deeper understanding of myself. So it called me to go kind of deep within. I then saw a couple of other images that were really clear. At one point I had this moment where I felt like I was sat there with my phone in my hand, looking at my phone. I couldn't quite make out what was on the screen, but I was like I'd shifted into another state of consciousness, and a different reality. I also saw a couple of little signs that had a couple of little messages on them. And it was a nice kind of introduction to that first cup. I didn't purge the first cup. And then we got called to go up for the second cup. So when I had my second cup, came back down, and that took me much deeper. Much deeper. The medicine really caught me and took me lots of visuals. And then what happened was it started raining like you've never heard rain before. It got harder and harder and harder and harder, and we ended up having about 10 hours of rain. It rained so hard that there was, as I was going really deep into the medicine, the water was coming down on the roof of the Malacca so hard, it was making this crazy, like, vibrational ringing sound all the way through all the way around the Malacca in my ears, to the point where it sort of broke out into this just continuous sound that seemed to sort of penetrate my mind and my brain. And yeah, it kind of almost exploded in my head, and then I did a huge purge. It obviously helped. It felt like it was opening me up, like there was some kind of sound and vibration that was opening me up, and that allowed the first purge to come through. And just after I'd finished purging, I realised, well, we all started to realise that because the water was coming down so hard, it had started coming into the Malacca, and our bedding was getting wet. And if you've ever done ayahuasca and you're in what they call chamado, which is when you're deep in the medicine, you're drunk on the medicine, it's quite difficult to move around. So we all had to kind of pull our kind of bedding and our mats closer to the fire, away from the sides of the Malacca, while it was raining. So that was pretty interesting, and really felt that we were really in raw into the jungle. There was no kind of nice sort of cozy retreat. I've been to retreats where you have beautiful duvets and mattresses and stuff like this, and it was pretty wild and raw. All of this is going on. Johnny the shaman and Enrico were playing guitar, singing songs. It was so beautiful, the music they were playing. Now, I was coming out of that. I was kind of coming out, but still in the medicine after the second cup. And Kim asked me if I wanted to receive some rapé. And so I just sort of instinctively said yes. I got up on my feet, still a little bit wobbly, and I stood in front of Johnny, the shaman, to receive some rapé from him. And as he was getting the rapé ready and he was facing me, it was almost like his presence was bringing the medicine back on, and I started going back into quite a deep journey. He shot one shot of rapé at my left nostril, and it hit me, and I managed to just sort of get my balance, but again it triggered the medicine. I started getting visuals coming up. I was able just to get my right nostril onto the pipe for the second blow at my right nostril, and literally no sooner had the rapé hit my nose, I was on the deck. I passed out. I'd fainted. It was so weird. It was like he just kind of shot me, and I kind of collapsed to the floor. And then, I find it's really strange when you faint. You kind of 1 minute you're there, and then next you're on the floor and you're looking up at everyone. And I was like, what's going on here? It's so disorientating. But quickly I kind of bounced back to my feet, had a little laugh with everyone about it, and then kind of returned to my space. That was pretty eventful. So not so much more. I didn't get a lot of insights coming through at that point. Again, was listening to the music, and we kind of, because of all the commotion that was going on with the rain and the water, there was quite a long period between the second drink and asking if we wanted to have the third one. And by the time they asked to have the third drink, I was feeling pretty relaxed, enjoying the space, being close to the fire, being around everyone, just really reveling in the moment, and feeling like I was more and more kind of compos mentis, if you like. And then they asked if we wanted to have a third drink, and me and Christian were the only two that said yes. Now, I considered why I'd said yes after I'd drunk it, because I'd felt in a really good space, but there was something inside of me that was drawing me to that third cup. I needed to have that third cup. So, and also because I'm planning on only doing one ceremony a week here, I wanted to maximise and get the most out of it. So I had that third drink, and I came back to my bed, and the medicine started coming on pretty fast and pretty strong. And at that point, I remember thinking, Mother Ayahuasca, please go easy on me, please go gently on me. And that's not what she intended. So I've got a tattoo on me that says, you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. And I was put into that place. The medicine came on so strong that it was so disorientating. And I kind of instinctively knew that the only way through this was through purging. I knew I was going to start doing a lot of purging. And I just kind of instinctively got up, turned around, got the bucket ready, got my hands placed on all fours. It's the best way of purging. It opens up the channels in your body. It allows you to kind of get everything out. And then I was taken through probably the best part of an hour of purging, off and on. It was pretty aggressive, and it went on and on. I would rest in between purges, put my head on a pillow, and then it would come back, and I'd purge again. And it's just like, it felt like my whole body was being wrung dry. It was being squeezed. It felt like I was being juiced. It was almost like every little bit of darkness was being kind of squeezed out of all of my organs, all of my cells, any form of toxins that were left in my body. And it really took a lot out of me physically. It was a really, really difficult, challenging experience. It's the most challenging one that I've been through, and I've done nearly 30 ceremonies now, and that took me to my limits, my edges. I also saw, when I was going through everything, that my whole relationship with plant medicines, it's like from 2014 had led me to that point. So I'm not saying that everyone's going to experience that, but I felt like because of the journey that I've been on with plant medicines, it had gradually strengthened me to getting to that point. And the plant purge and the temescal I did last week also, I knew there was a reason why I'd been put through those kind of strengthening experiences, so that I would have the strength to go through what I was going through in this particular moment. At one point it got so difficult and so challenging, I was kind of in my bucket saying to myself, to the plant spirit, why? And the message that I got back was, we need to get rid of the darkness so we can let more of the light in. And I really feel that I'm on a journey at the moment. I'm not sure what's to come, but I really felt that particular part of the ceremony was in preparation for what's to come. And I think it was a massive clearing for me energetically. There was no part of me that was left unturned, and I feel that it was to create space for a lot of light that's going to come through me in the next few weeks, I believe, through the next ceremonies and being here and everything that I'm going through. So it was a pretty crazy night. and eventually the purging died down. You know, you just keep saying to yourself, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. You know, everything has to change, everything has to end at some point. And through all that purging, eventually the strength of the medicine came down. I started to regain control of myself, and turned around to sort of face the fire, listen to the music with everyone, and feel in a really more relaxed state. And yeah, then fell asleep for a couple of hours, and then we ended up having a big share at the end. Kim and Enrico, who are kind of facilitating, the co-founders of this space, they were amazing. They were doing all the translating, so pretty much everyone there was speaking Spanish. My Spanish isn't that great, un poco. So I'm working on that at the moment, but of course it's quite complicated, the words and the Spanish people are using when they're sharing things. So I had them to translate for me, which was really cool. Yeah, wow, what a night. Felt amazing afterwards. You always feel incredible after you've been through a challenging experience. Everything tastes so good, everything smells so good. You appreciate everything, appreciate life, and you know, just really appreciate myself for continually putting myself into these challenges, through these experiences to grow from. I was doing some Kundalini yoga this morning, and I was contemplating how much of a challenge this last year has been. There's been so many different challenging moments, even in the last week since I've been here, or just the journey to get here as well. And I do sometimes wonder, you know, you look at people who are very content with living a certain life, and you think, why aren't I content with living that life? But this is the life I've chosen. This is what makes me feel alive. And no matter how challenging it gets, I still love it. And I love who I am, and I love where I am, especially here in the jungle right now. So that's me wrapping up my first ayahuasca ceremony. Like I said, I'm probably planning on doing one a week. So that's it for me now, from a raining Colombian jungle. Peace out and double plant power. Ciao.